Good afternoon, everyone. It is Tuesday, July 20th. Welcome to the Sports Note on YouTube. Hope everyone had a great week. This is our first post in a week, and also our first post since the first half of the July episode of the Wise Guys Sports Show, where we brought on Alex from Row 7. So if you haven't done so, go check that out and let us know what you think. Part 2 will probably be coming up here, maybe not this week, but sometime next week. And that'll be live on the Sports Note channel because we'll be uncut and unfiltered as usual. With everything that's going on going into the All Star break this past weekend in Major League Baseball, we've seen a lot of topsy-turvy things. We had the Baltimore Orioles go on such a tear that they actually got themselves to 500 at the break, meaning that every team in the American League East was at 500 or above, and the Orioles lost that final game going into the All-Star break. Otherwise, every team would have been above 500. The American League Central, you had the Cleveland Guardians take 2 in a row against Detroit after actually getting swept by the Tigers in Comerica earlier in the week, and then getting rained out on that Sunday to finish 2 games above 500. They in Minnesota are the only teams at above 500. The White Sox are at 500, and then you've got the National League East, where don't count out the resurgence recently of the Philadelphia Phillies, and the Atlanta Braves were right on Mike's New York Mets ass. The National League Central, you've got the Cardinals nipping right at the Milwaukee Brewers, and they're the only teams with a legitimate shot of actually getting to the postseason. And as we all know, the American League West is basically the Dodgers and everyone else, although you've got the Padres and Giants who are still going to dramatically factor in to the wild card race. But the race I want to focus in on today is what in the world is going on in the American League West. Yeah, you've got the Houston Astros, to whether or not they're using trash cans or buzzers, still way out in front. But the team getting a lot of run lately are the Seattle Mariners. Going into the break, the Mariners have a Major League best 14-game winning streak. Yes, the longest winning streak in baseball this year is 14 games. The Mariners found themselves winning 21 of their last 24, including that 14 in a row, and now have gotten themselves to 51-42, albeit it's still 9 back in that division. But they played themselves from borderline basement dwellers right into the second wild card spot, and they're only a half game back of the Toronto Blue Jays for that second wild card spot. Seattle's got a plus 36 run differential. They're getting phenomenal pitching. They've got a team ERA of their team ERA is very, very competitive. It's 3.53. It's 5th best in all of baseball. They've got 44 quality starts from their rotation. That's 3rd best in baseball. You've got Robbie Ray with 135 strikeouts in 19 starts. You've got Logan Gilbert with a 10-3 record and 104 strikeouts and a team best 2.76 ERA. The Seattle pitching staff, let's be honest, they're not, outside of Gilbert and Ray, there's not anyone who's going to jump off the page. This isn't going to be like Randy Johnson 20 years ago. Seattle is just very, very consistent. The most surprising thing about Seattle right now is the way that they're doing it with their defense, and I'm not just talking about their pitching. Seattle has given up 262 walks, which is not the greatest, but they've also drawn 336, showing just how patient their young players are at the dish. And you would figure, okay, we're drawing walks, we're getting guys on base, we're being able to generate runs, but that also is going to mean that while we're getting the offense, the defense might struggle. It's completely the opposite here. The Mariners have only committed 31 errors all season in 93 games. That's 1 error every 3 games. The next closest team in baseball are the Padres with 38. The Mariners have an astonishing .990 save percentage, and it's literally 1,000% better than the St. Louis Cardinals and the Padres at 989, and also just ahead of the defending champion Atlanta Braves, who have the human vacuum cleaner, also known as Dansby Swanson, on their infield. But with Seattle doing all of this as young as they are, led right now by Rookie of the Year runaway, you could basically put his name on the trophy right now, and I don't think anyone's going to have a problem with that. Julio Rodriguez. Rodriguez, as we all saw, the show that he put on in the Home Run Derby Monday night is going to be baseball's next breakout star. If you really don't even want to consider him that already. Going into the break, Rodriguez is hitting .275, which is second on the club, only to tie France, who's hitting 308. The only reason France didn't go to the All Star game is I believe he was hurt going in and was kind of held out, which also means that you cannot go to the All Star game or at least be part of the roster. Rodriguez had an incredibly surprising show in the Home Run Derby. We saw him hit a Derby high 32 home runs in the opening round, and he defeated Corey Seager. Now, Mike and Alex actually had Rodriguez winning that. I took Seager. That actually kind of blew up in my face, but then Rodriguez really started to piss Mike off by by upsetting two-time and defending champion of the New York Mets, Pete Alonso, 31-24 in the semifinals. The only reason he did not win the Derby was he ended up going first against Washington's Juan Soto in the finals, and Soto was able to walk off, winning 19-18. Rodriguez currently leads the Mariners. He's got 52 RBIs, 22 stolen bases, and 175 total bases. He's only 21 years old. Had he won the Derby Monday night, he would have actually been the youngest he would have been the second youngest player to do so, only behind I'm trying to remember who exactly it was. It was Juan Gonzalez, who would have literally been 1 day younger from that. But this is actually showing no signs that the Mariners are going to slow down, regardless of what happens with their opening series coming out of the break, which is ironically enough going to be against the division-leading Houston Astros at Minute Maid Park. What if the Mariners can keep this streak going to 17? That means it closes them to 6 within from the Astros, but more importantly, it puts a lot more distance and comfort between them and some of the teams trying to get into that second wild card spot, like your Cleveland, like your Chicago. There's naturally you've got Toronto, Boston, and Baltimore now to worry about as well. But this is very reminiscent of when the Cleveland Guardians, then the Cleveland Indians, went on a American League record 22-game winning streak just a few years ago. And also the Arizona Diamondbacks had a similar run. Now the Diamondbacks ended their streak first, and the Indians kept going with theirs en route to getting into the playoffs and making a very deep run. We all know that what the Mariners are doing, and I also mentioned earlier that the Orioles had gotten themselves back to 500. The Orioles were also on a double-digit win streak of their own before it was snapped again, just going into the All-Star break. This could be a very, very telling sign for the way that baseball is headed, that you've got these very young teams who typically when you blow something up, it's a 3 to 5 year rebuild. What's going on right now with Cleveland, Baltimore, and Seattle is certainly not considered a rebuild if you're in contention like this the year that you're supposedly blowing it up, because it just means your players are only going to build more and more confidence. And hey, you don't need to start digging into the minors like some of the like where everyone was expecting them to coming out of the All-Star break or by mid-August or early September when the rosters start to expand. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Again, look for the next Wise Guys Sports Show probably next week, at the worst case, the first week of August. And I don't know if you guys realize this. The Wise Guys Sports Show is turning 1 Labor Day weekend, so we are going to have a massive, massive blowout. We're going to plan a show. We're going to plan a very, very nice, long marathon type show. We're going to get a lot of guests on, and we're going to have probably the free-for-all of all free-for-alls. So, again, let me know what you guys think below, and we will see you very, very soon. Take care.